picture so you can put it off if you want. So, anyways, I live with my wife Selena and at the Walter and Mary Chan house on Kiefer Street, and I'm here to support what Dan and Richard just presented about the arterial roads, because there is a better way for the community of Strathcona and the city of Vancouver. So my family has been residents of Strathcona since 1954, and I'm pleased to be speaking to you today on behalf of over 12,000 people who live here. To give you some idea of who we are, according to the latest census, 81% of us are renters, 50% of us live in subsidized housing. We're over 1,000 families with children. We're over 2,700 seniors. In the late 1950s and 1960s, in the name of urban renewal, plans were in place to demolish much of Strathcona, Vancouver's oldest community, to build a freeway. There was no consultation or consideration for the residents, as private homes were expropriated and bulldozed. Phase 1 and Phase 2 of this comprehensive redevelopment scheme had already fractured and displaced over 3,400 residents and cleared 58 acres of land. This was the time when city engineering and planning departments and successive city councils were more concerned for infrastructure projects than with thoughtful visions of community building. Phase 3 was in place to complete the demolition of Strathcona, to bulldoze much of what Strathcona you see today, in favor of the freeway and public housing. I was personally witness to an urban miracle as my parents, Walter and Mary Chan, sister Shirley, and other big longtime residents of Strathcona organized and led the community by forming the Strathcona Property Owners and Tenants Association. The community lobbied, cajoled, and protested against the city of Vancouver, the province of British Columbia, and the federal government. The community was ultimately successful in overturning and freezing the misdirected national housing policy of urban renewal in favor of rehabilitation and community building. 50 years later, we not only have a diverse and thriving neighborhood, but a much better city for the character and heritage value that Strathcona represents. But today, Strathcona faces an equally uncertain future. The result of your decision will affect us in subtle and lasting ways for years to come. It will affect our access to green space, our health, our quality of life. Think ahead now, 20 years, 50 years. Your choice will have a major impact on what the future looks like for us. So consider Prior Street, which Dan mentioned earlier. Prior is a busy street today because a viaduct was built for a freeway that wasn't. A residential street became an arterial, dividing Strathcona from its park. In 2015, Road Safety Record Report concluded that overcapacity by 9,000 cars a day was on Prior Street. I repeat, 9,000 cars extra a day on Prior Street. It's overcapacity. In 2015 and again in 2018, City Council passed motions to calm Prior Street. And yet, here we are again considering whether to make it even more congested and dangerous. What happens in 20 years if you decide to restore Prior to the residential street it was designed to be? What would it be like? For one, Strathcona will be reunited with its green space. Strathcona Park will become more accessible to seniors, children, and families. Many who don't have their own yards. It could be reimagined as a park not just for weekend sports leagues, but for the people who live there. 100 trees could be planted to offset air pollution from trains and trucks, to preserve and provide habitat for wildlife, and an urban sanctuary so families could enjoy it outdoors. Noteworthy, Strathcona Park is 10.7 hectares of Strathcona downtown east side parklands, 12.58 hectares. That's 80% of the green space in the entire downtown east side Strathcona is in Strathcona Park, accepted by Prior Street. What does the future look like for the natural Charles option that Dan was talking about? Prior is calm, the park is saved, the community gardens are saved, Carter's Road operates exactly as it does today. The city has to demolish no buildings and acquire no land it hasn't already acquired. The decision you are asked to make is not just about a road. It is about the future of an entire community. A diverse, historic, thriving community that is home to 12,000 people. I ask you to choose community building over infrastructure. If this is the opportunity to heal the 50-year fracture by making whole again the Strathcona community with its largest park. It is a long overdue time to right the wrong. I leave you with this one request. Don't choose a road. Choose a future for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chan.